I'm fashionably late to this live due to my hair. You can't tell, it is wet. And I hope that whoever is joining from my Instagram is aware that I'm live. Let's see if we can move this a little bit. So, if you are not watching live, you can view the chapters by clicking like the intro button that you will see eventually and go directly to any question you're actually interested in. You don't have to sit through the whole live. And I will be answering some DMs here. I've never done this live on, this is my second live. My last one I was on my phone. This one I'm on my laptop. So I'm kind of checking the quality, seeing what this is like. This is weird because this is like flipped. My face looks lopsided. And I don't like that. But we're going to move on. It's going to be okay. I'm going to answer these questions. So, my first question is from my DM. Hi, I've been following you for a while now. I love your page. I just got hired at an OB clinic starting in about a week. Any tips for before I start? I'm not super confident in my OB scanning due to lack of exposure at my clinical sites. So I don't want to go in not knowing anything. I was thinking of reviewing some YouTube videos on anatomy scans since they do a majority of those. Thank you. So that idea of doing viewing the YouTube videos, checking anatomy scans, that's a great idea. Definitely recommend that. That will be super helpful. Familiarizing yourself with anatomy in general is always a good idea if you're not sure about if you're going into a new space regarding sonography. I'll say that because as long as they always say, as long as you know normal, um, you can detect when it's abnormal. So I would say videos, reviewing your textbook, um, and protocols, reviewing that. I would also say when you do get to your clinical site, since you did not have a lot of exposure at those at your clinical sites at your new job rather, when you get there, definitely inform the staff that you will be working with that will be training you how much you do know and what you don't know. Tell them that you didn't have that much experience with OB in school so they can know what they're working with and not be judging you as harshly. Now, if they do judge you, that's their problem, that's their fault. Because I had an experience when I had my first job. I think one of the girls she just assumed that maybe my school was like her. She had all this vascular experience and stuff, and she was just like kind of like joking on me for not knowing or not being quick with my scans. I'm like, I did not learn this very much in school. We barely went over this in school, so you really shouldn't be so judgmental. So I just want to make sure I am covering this question as well as I can. So when you go in, definitely take notes. When you notice certain things that the sonographer is doing, take notes and review those notes even when you go home after work. And then if you're on your own at some point scanning and stuff, then have those notes right with you. If you need to reference those notes, that is okay. It's better to do an exam accurately than to finish it just off of whatever you remembered and then they look at your images and they're like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. It's better to just stop, take more time than mess up an exam later. So those are a few things that I would say. Um, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Hopefully, these the staff is kind. They're helpful. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Do what you can when you are starting to be on your own. Do what you know what to do, and then once you get to a certain point in during an exam that you don't feel like you're providing the patient with the best care, then go get some help. It is okay. It's better to do something right than to just speed along and do it wrong. So that is my advice on the new job at the OB clinic. Now let's look at my next question. Hey, I hope you're well. I'm changing my major to sonography, and I was just curious on if it's better to get your associates or bachelor's, and do you enjoy it? Okay, I definitely enjoy the sonography field. There's a lot of variety in the field. Not everybody is doing the same thing. Um, it's not all the same type of workflows. You can really choose what's best for you and what you like. There's so many specialties that you can get into. So, is it better to get your associates or bachelors? I would not say one is better than the other. There are advantages to each that you would have to weigh. So, for an associate's degree, if you see yourself primarily working as a sonographer in a hospital or a clinic, if you see yourself primarily performing ultrasounds, that doing that for the rest of your career, then I would say go for an associate's degree. Um, there are some other things you can do. You can do adjunct teaching, which is like temporary teaching contracts at a DMS program. Um, I have done that. Um, let's see. Some places will let you be a lead tech with an associate's degree. Just depends on where you go to school. I mean, or where you're working, rather. Um, you can do travel sonography. Um, those are just a few examples. Now, with bachelor's degree, if you want to do some teaching long term and you want to have like a set job, I forget what the term is for that. Um, if you want to become a manager, not a lead tech, but a manager for sure, then you would need a bachelor's degree. Or at that point, I think you could be possibly working on your bachelor's and become a manager, depending on where you're working. You, if you want to possibly sell ultrasound machines, I think I'm pretty sure that you would need a bachelor's degree for that. If those are the types of things you would like to get into, you see yourself getting into in the future, then definitely go the bachelor's degree program route. Now, working as a staff sonographer, that's the term, one of the terms I was looking for. Working as a staff sonographer, the pay between you having an associate's degree versus a bachelor's degree is about the same. I don't think there's very much of a difference, if any, for having a degree, a different degree. However, they usually go off of years of experience. They don't really go off of your degree or anything. It's usually years of experience that they put you in your pay scale. Um, so I would say, as far as making money, working as a staff sonographer, it depends. You might find some jobs that might pay more teaching, but a lot of times working as a staff sonographer will give you a little bit more money, or you have like more ways to make more money just by simply working more hours, for example, working as a staff sonographer. So just keep that in mind because either way, if you want to make some money, whether you have an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree, you can make some good money as a sonographer. So that is all I will say as far as that question. I have at least one more question from my DMs. This question is, hey, hi, I'm currently in my first year of a 3-year DMS program. I'm basically all done with my prerequisites, and I wanted to ask, what would you recommend I do this summer to get a head start so that I can be more knowledgeable and equipped for this upcoming semester? Okay, if I can remember all of them, I have about 4 recommendations. I would say familiarize yourself with anatomy and physiology. Likely you already took anatomy and physiology with your prerequisites, but hopefully you did not absorb that information and forget it because you need that information. You will need that in your program. And specifically, I would look into like the perfusion, how each organ gets blood flow. That's huge. Especially, I've been reviewing lately all the ARDMS uh, exam outlines, the registry exam outlines. Perfusion is a big one, especially with the abdomen exam. So, how does the liver get blood flow? The venous flow and the arterial flow? What about the spleen? What about the kidneys? Things like that. Um, just your vasculature in general, your aorta, your IVC, things like that. Knowing your normal anatomy will help. Knowing exactly where the organs are in your body, that will help. Another thing I would say is to use your non-dominant hand. Use your non-dominant hand more often. That will. Um, hey Nana, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. Nana, Nana. Hi, I see your question. What books or tools could I use to review? Um, I found YouTube helpful. Just general uh, videos about each organ and how they function. I like if I can find some 3D, what do you call it? 3D videos. I can't remember is what the term is, but this like realistic looking videos that take you through the body and all that stuff that sticks with me more. Um, if you let me see, yeah, if you still have your anatomy and physiology book, definitely review that. If you are already in the process of buying your DMS program books, use those books. I hope that's um, a good start for that. Um, the second thing I was saying, use your non-dominant hand. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you're going to be using the opposite hand more often than you are used to. So random tips I have: start brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Um, that's really a good one because you need to be able to have a steady hand and keep your hand in the same place for long periods of time. So strengthening your non-dominant hand, the muscles in your forearm, your shoulder muscles, things like that. That's huge. Uh, let's see what else. I would say patient care. Learning more about patient care, that's huge on your registry exams, like communication, things like that, communication with physicians, making sure your patient is informed about what you're going to do, giving informed consent, um, how to transfer patients, for example, from a wheelchair to a stretcher. That will be practical and helpful for clinicals when you do go to clinicals. Um, so I'm sure they have some videos on YouTube about that. So let me try to remember. Oh, physics, ultrasound physics. That was the fourth thing. A lot of people have trouble with ultrasound physics. Um, I would recommend, if you have your book already, just flipping through that and familiarizing yourself with the term. I do have a webinar replay, an ultrasound physics review ultrasound webinar replay. Ooh, that's a lot of words. Okay. um, it's not very expensive at all. That's on my website, or you can, if you I saw you on my Instagram, so if you go to the link in bio, you can do that. A lot of people have found that helpful. Even people who have been sonographers for years, they found it helpful, and it just brushes up on a few basic topics so that you can be prepared and ahead of the game when it comes to ultrasound physics. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just warn you. It can be a lot, ultrasound physics. So that I definitely recommend brushing up on that to prepare yourself. So let me make sure that these are all my questions that I've needed to answer. Um, I think that's it. So just an FYI, if you guys have questions for me, you can DM me and I will try to answer them, get to them as soon as I can. This is my new format, answering them on live so that I can explain all the details that I want to get out, but it takes a while to type. Um, yeah, so I think that's everything I had to say. There was something I almost had a thought. I almost had a little thought, but I can't grab it. Okay. Well, I hope this is helpful to you guys. And I am ready to eat. I have not eaten. I'm ready to watch a movie. So, yeah. Yeah. I shall see you guys later.